It's all right. You would have got like 850 DMs, like saying, what happened to you, Ash? Where's Ash? Ash, Rak-Su is now a celebrity. He was always a celebrity, but now he's a Dazn celebrity. This geezer's got like 7,000 hats.
Who, me?
You. Welcome.
How you doing? You alright?
All the better for seeing you. Talk to me about this journey. You've gone from in the ring to holding the mic and speaking to everyone that's involved. Kind of like a Mr. Dazn now.
I don't know about Mr. Dazn, but I think even when I'm fighting, I still spend a lot of time smiling, talking to people and just having a good time. So it was actually quite an organic shift for me to just do that in front of a camera, initially for myself and then now for Dazn. So yeah, I just get to keep on having fun and talking to people.
You know what I like, and I'll say this from somebody that sits on the outside's perspective, is the opportunities that Misfits gives to everybody, whether you're actually involved in the sport of boxing, traditional boxing, whether you've got some kind of, you're a singer, you're an actor. It brings absolutely everybody together. It's sort of like the multiculturalism of boxing. And when I say culture, I mean it could be, like I said, musicians, actors. It's not specifically one genre. It's bringing everyone that can have a go at the sport.
Yeah, I think so. And at the top of this whole thing is obviously Mams and KSI, right? And I think it's probably testament to KSI as somebody who started as a YouTuber and a gamer, then decided to start making music and was hugely successful there. Decided to start boxing, is hugely successful there. Decided to start a drink, very successful there. So I think as a result of that, the culture of Misfits and the Dazn X series is very much try new things, take risks, and people will support you in your effort and your endeavours to do that. And I feel like I'm a beneficiary of that.
Being a beneficiary and on probably Misfits' biggest event so far, there's going to be more to come. What are your thoughts on the crossover boxing on the scene? Because there's a lot of eyes on this. I get it, there's YouTubers, they've got the numbers, there's influencers, there's OnlyFans girls. It attracts all sorts of people. But how do you see the landscape of Misfits? Where do you see it going next? We talk about a progression, a strategy to keep it going and it not just being a phase.
So I think ultimately Misfits is going to live and die by its stars and the creators that are involved in it. So what's really important is that people who are involved in Misfits just carry on creating content. Because I think the biggest danger to it is that we get too good. Because I think when I first got involved in this scene, the barrier for entry was really low. As in, like, you had a lot of people who you could have been boxing for 3 weeks, jump on a Misfits card and do your thing. Now, if you're 165 to 185, like, if KSI, me, King Kenny, Anthony Taylor, OJ Rose, Gabe Silva, if we were to fight against somebody now who'd only been boxing for 3 weeks, it's curtains for that person. Like, we are at an okay level now, and eventually we're going to edge closer and closer to professionals because fortunately for some of us we have the resources to train full time, worry about the nutrition, do the recovery sessions, do you know what I mean? Like, we can actually do that, so we're closing the gap. And if we get better as fighters and we don't make content, then it will suddenly just become like a low level of professional boxing. So I think the really important thing is that regardless as to how good the fighting gets, there has to be diss tracks, vlogs, stupidity, there's got to be the stunts, there's got to be the pranks.
Fucking Derek. For once.
So yeah, I think as long as people remember to have fun with it as well as training, then Misfits will be fine and last for as long as they want it to.
I like what you said there because it's kind of like, don't rest on your laurels, don't see this money coming in, because I know it's a well-paid sport. I hear the rumours, I haven't seen the checks, but I hear the rumours, and everyone's satisfied with their pay packet. And it's so easy to fall into that trap if you are a content creator, to slow down on that.
Because do you know what, it's not even falling into a trap. Like, honest to God, it's scary. Like, 10-ounce gloves, no head guards, you can get hurt. Like, we've all seen people be knocked out or concussed or in Ryan Taylor's last fight, had a detached retina. So as you're going through camp and you know you're fighting in 8 weeks, all you want to do is train, eat, sleep, boxing. So the idea of you, like for me personally, the idea of me making a song, or the idea of me going to the studio, or the idea of me doing funny stuff, I don't really want to do it because you've got the biggest fight of your life coming up. So actually it's really hard to try and stay in both places at once. And I feel like people sleep on that. So when they think content creators are being lazy, it's not. It's that they're actually putting everything into the boxing, because that's the thing where obviously they could get hurt.
I think it kind of makes sense and sort of justify why this is quite rightly so in a league of its own. Because of that, it's like you've got 2 jobs, as it were, and you've got to maintain the both of them. So fighting like for like actually makes sense. But then you get the likes of Tommy Fury versus KSI. Tommy Fury is a professional boxer. We know him as a professional boxer.
Yeah.
He's one of the Furies. The majority of them are boxers.
Yeah.
But then he comes from boxing into celebrity world and then does crossover fights.
Yeah.
He manages it quite well. So I guess there's an argument for both.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think Tommy's probably helped out by his dad, where he doesn't even necessarily have to do the most to be entertaining, because if John's in the building, John's going to entertain the people. So I've got a theory on this.
Go on.
My theory is that John does everything deliberately. So I think Tommy's not got the biggest personality in the world. I think we saw that on Love Island. I think we've seen that in the build-up to the Jake Paul fight. I think we've seen everywhere that Tommy's quite a timid person. So I think John Fury, as a father, has probably said to him, do you know what, son? You be yourself and focus on the boxing. I will do what's necessary for the circus. And I think it gives him an advantage.
Are we saying that essentially John Fury is the Kris Jenner of boxing?
Yeah, I do think so. I think it's genius. I don't think he's stupid. I think he knows what he's doing, because otherwise, like I said, it's really difficult to go into a massive fight and think, let me entertain everybody, let me do X, Y, or Z. So I think John's saying to Tommy, don't worry about it. I got you. You focus on the boxing. You be who you want to be. Let everybody else worry about having to be larger than life. So yeah, I think they patterned it.
What's your favourite fight on the card? And no, we'll do favourite fight first.
My favourite fight on the card is probably going to be Dean versus Waleed. The first one was my favourite fight. I think from a purist perspective of all the Misfits fights as well, that was a good fight. There's so much animosity. Waleed genuinely, almost like for the honour of his family, wants to take that boy out. And Dean is just a larger-than-life character. He's just all the chat. He's your stereotypical flash, good-looking American brother who just wants all the smoke. So that one is going to be fireworks.
I do like how he throws you dig on the end of it. I love that. No, but I like it though. That's his swag. But I've got to admit, that's the fight that I'm looking forward to the most. But in your role that you've had all week, who's the favourite? Who's been your favourite guest? The one that's made you laugh the most? The one that's really come out of themselves and you've sat there and thought, you know what? Yeah.
So not that they've come out of themselves, right? But because of everything that Dylan has said about Logan's missus, that goes against a lot of my principles. Just as a person, I don't agree with that. It's not something that I would ever do. I don't appreciate it. And I would be very upset if someone did that to me. I feel like it's overstepping the line. I sat down with Dylan to do a lie detector test for Dazn, and so we were together in a room for about an hour and a half, and by the time I walked out of it,
you were converted.
he kind of won me over. I was like, I had to respect the fact that he's very much authentic to himself. He just has a sense of humour, and if the line is here, he goes past it, but it's actually not meant in malice. It genuinely is him, and he's just being him. So to an extent, I have to respect that. I'm not saying that he's going to become my brethren or anything, but I felt like I understood him afterwards. So that was a change for me.
Well, the thing is they've got backup even behind you. You've got, Mr. Perry, Mike Perry here, bare knuckle boxer, MMA fighter, somebody that's had to fight his whole life, a natural born fighter. They've got him on standby because they think that Dylan might not even turn up.
Yeah, I mean, there's a possibility it could be the greatest troll of all time to go through all of this, do the press conference, do the weigh-in, and then Saturday just go, nah, I ain't fighting. Oh, God. It would be the single best troll we've ever seen in sports. Like, we would have never seen anything like it before. So I hope it doesn't happen. But would I be completely surprised? No.
And after an 8-hour media workout, I think a lot of people would be distraught because he's kind of like made himself, people knew who he was, but he's made himself a name literally off being Mr. Twitter and being very, very not nice.
Yeah. But I think at the same time, the show's been sold. Everybody knows about it, everyone spoken about it. If Dylan pulls out on fight night, people aren't gonna...
No, they're not going to turn it.
They're not going to turn it off. So actually, everybody's won. Regardless of what happens, everybody involved in this event has won. So, yeah.
And we like that. And that's a note we're going to leave it on. Always leave it on a positive. Everybody's won. Everybody is a winner. Even if you lose, even if you don't turn up, we've always got Misfits Boxing. There you go.
Amen to that.